All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Designing the Best You. As always, if you love this episode, you want to share it with people, go ahead and head to the show notes, and all links we need will be right in there. So let's dive in. As we know, we've been talking about holding a job and building a career is more complicated and competitive than ever. And right, with any kind of chronic condition or mysterious symptoms, it makes these jobs just a nightmare, right? Let alone if you're a healthy person just dealing with basic stress, right? And as I've said before, my work is incredibly dedicated. It's not even work anymore, it's vocation to giving people the tools they need to be able to manage their work and create more balance, meet the challenges head on with resilience. Okay, that's huge, right? These days, and look to the future with hope. Why? Because I've been there. I've been there for years, and I don't want you guys to go through all that I went through, and this is why I do what I do, okay? So, today we're tackling the second pillar of my program, sleep hygiene. You're like, "Yep, okay, Vanessa, I am going to sleep my 8 hours and all this stuff, and I'm gonna be peachy," right? Well, here's the thing, and I was one of these people, still can be sometimes, let's be honest, okay? I hear that all these exceptional achievers like you guys out there tend to sleep very little. But for all that heroic showing off, underpinning these claims, guys, about how little we sleep, even when that time is used for something as we call, quote, productive, checking your emails, getting things set, whatever it is, okay? Chances are your performance and career are going to take a hit in the long run, not to mention your personal life. I mean, how many of you guys, your relationships, your marriages, parenting really stink when you have a lack of sleep, right? So lack of sleep, it leads to detriments, right, in job performance. And this is proven. Okay. You can Google, you can do the research yourself. There's detriments in your job performance, in your productivity, career progression, satisfaction. There's an increase in on job accidents. Ask any HR professional that. Okay. Absenteeism and counterproductive work behaviors, not to mention many other physical health issues that you have that a lot of us just don't say, right? Okay. Then you've got on the opposite end, right? You have better sleep. What does it link to? Improved memory and learning. It's what we all want, especially as we get older, right? Even short naps. And as a side note, I used to go to my car, sometimes in the parking lot of where I was working, and other times I would just drive to some other parking lot and take a short nap on lunch because I was like, I was exhausted from all the things and it gave me a little boost to get through the end of the day. Okay, even those short naps have significant positive impacts on work performance. And one of the best ways that you can ensure a productive day at the office is to make sure that you're getting a good night's sleep. I mean, this goes for parents who are staying at home too, moms, right? I mean, you take a short little nap before your kids get home from school or while your kids do nap, right? They're like, oh, yeah, right, take a nap when the kid naps. A lot of us are like, no, that's stupid. No, there's a reason for it, right? Okay. About 25% of adults reportedly suffer from, and this is in the United States, so if you're listening in another country, this is only applying to the United States, but 25% of adults in the United States suffer from insomnia. And this is just them reporting it. Does not include the other people who don't report it, don't do surveys, things like that, okay? And a similar number report regular patterns of excessive sleepiness, or as we tend to hear more of, excessive and chronic fatigue, right? How many of y'all, if I was to pull you guys in a big auditorium and raise your hand, you're like, I'm constantly fatigued, okay? It's not surprising that sleep disturbances also increase the risk of cancer, depression, heart problems, your ability to fight infection, okay? Compromised immune system, irritability, skin aging, weight gain, you have slow reactions, and you have gut dysbiosis, okay? And also, those sleep disturbances make you pretty not productive, basically, okay? Yes, I use fancy words, okay? I don't care, all right? But how many of you experienced any of those from a lack of good sleep? And I'm not just talking like one night, I'm talking like multiple nights, okay? Work is always gonna be there. It's always gonna be, dishes are always gonna be there, guys. Whatever on social media is always gonna be there, okay? Now, what do I mean by good sleep? Now, real quick, Our deepest sleep happens in the first part of the night after we fall asleep. Okay, that's our deep sleep. So I always recommend get to bed between 9 and 10, as close to 9 as possible. I'm not joking there. Okay. Then it's always followed by REM sleep and then light sleep. Now, here's the thing. And you're like, why is a holistic health practitioner talking about this? Yes, she was a career coach. Okay. And still is. And we're merging these together now. Okay. If you have high cortisol levels from the stress, okay, and they're too high at the wrong times, like at night, anyone ever experience? I know I do here and there, of you're wired but tired underneath. Yeah, okay. You're gonna have trouble sleeping. Now that could be high cortisol, can be from stress, it can be from blood sugar issues. There's many different things, parasites, there's so many different things that can relate to. But here's the thing. Research shows that a hyperactive HPA axis, okay, that's a hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, okay, can lead to, which many of you may struggle from, trauma, domestic violence, childhood abuse, a driven personality, okay? But here's some things that's that hyperactive, or we call an HPA axis dysfunction, can lead to. You're going to wake up during the night, okay? And I will be one to speak when I'm going through traumatic periods, having triggers and things like that. When I'm like, I'm driven, I'm going to do this. I'm up, and this is no joke, y'all, between 18 and 25 times a night. Okay. You're going to have less deep sleep. Okay. You're going to have reduced sleep duration and insomnia. Now, if you guys have wearable device, like here, if you guys are watching on YouTube, I have a Whoop. Okay. And I love the thing. It tracks so many different aspects of it. It tells you when is best to go to bed for you based on previous behaviors. It tracks your behaviors like, hey, if you had caffeine too late, you're like, oh, well, that might be a problem type thing. It's really great. So there's a link in the show notes for a discount code for you guys to go ahead and use that. I highly recommend it. I've been using it for a couple years, and it legit, for myself, my husband, a couple of my clients, has changed my life in terms of my sleep behavior. Okay. So these high cortisol levels, how do we keep them at bay so we can sleep and get that solid rest to perform well at home and at work? So many of you guys are senior level executives and professionals. How do we keep a healthy weight? How do we limit illness so we can still perform with the gifts that God's given us in our home, in our community, at our jobs? Okay. So here's some tips. Let's start off with our morning wake up routine. Okay. I'm pretty basic these days. Wake up, expose yourself to natural light as quickly as possible. So you can either go outside, which is always recommended. Here's a hint: wear your clothes to bed. Okay. Wear them to bed so you're just like up, ready to go. I used to do that before I was had kids. I would wear my workout clothes, my running clothes, so I could get up and I would go running right before work. Okay. It works. I'm telling you, because you're like, oh, who wants to change out of them? Usually you don't. So you just get up and go. Okay. So you can either go outside, even if it's cloudy, that really does help. Okay. It's that natural light, whatever God's light gave us for the day. Okay. Doesn't mean looking at your phone. Okay. Sorry. No blue light. Okay. Or you have there's these day lamps, and I should have grabbed mine to show you guys. Um, but there's day lamps that they sell for like anywhere from 20 to 30 bucks on Amazon. That's a lot of us use, like if you're in the Midwest, or if you're in, sorry, Oregon, those type of states where you have limited sunlight as it is. We used to live in Arizona. I had no qualms about that situation. But have those daylight lamps on your face at least 15 minutes in the morning there. At least. So many of you guys are doing saunas and you're doing all these other things. Like I have mine when I get up and work out, I have it shine on my face and on my body when I'm working out in the morning. There's so many different ways to do it. There's no excuses. Here's another little trick outside of wearing your clothes to bed. Okay. Get one of the timers that plugs into the wall and set it like you would an alarm. So when your alarm goes off, the light goes on, and boom, you can even lay in bed for those 10, 15 minutes while that light's shining on you. So sorry, I'm in the no excuses boat, and most of my audiences too. We're here about changing our lives, using the gifts that we've been given here on earth, here from God here on earth. Okay. So, or get a dog. They wake you up, kids too. All right. But make sure you get outside too throughout the day. The next best time to get out is around 11 o'clock. Go out for a quick walk, stand outside, stick your face out, let the dog out, go grab lunch, whatever it is. Okay. When you do that and you constantly are exposing yourself at the same times each day, it sets your circadian rhythm up for success. Okay. It calms your system down. And then do it again as the sun's setting. Okay. If you're driving home and the sun is setting in your face, like, great. That's still something your eyes are learning a pattern. Okay. I'm telling you, it works. All right. Then at nighttime, this one's a little bit more important. Okay. And everyone, including myself, fails multiple times here. Don't have your bedroom too warm or too cold. I typically say 62 to 72 or 62 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I know that can seem warm for some people or cold for other people. I'm personally one, I like to leave my bedroom window open and then wrap myself in a bunch of blankets and have fans going and all the stuff just in case it might get too warm. I also have a cooling pad too, but I digress. But I also recommend wearing socks, like a light cotton, not like thick wool socks or anything like that, to keep your extremities at a similar temperature. Especially those of you who have thyroid issues, you know your extremities get cold, right? And we want to start keeping that stuff at bay and getting ourselves regular sleep and all the things. Okay. Next, your room should be pitch black. I mean, there should be no light whatsoever. We're not 2 years old anymore. We don't need night lights. Like, no, we don't. Okay. Get darkening curtains. I even have some here, but get darkening curtains. No electronic devices. Literally have a kill switch for your Wi Fi. There is no need to use your phone, your Wi Fi in the middle of the nights when you wake up. Okay. Literally get a basic clock if you need to see what time it is. Okay. Again, if you get the Whoop too, it vibrates when it's time to wake up. So there's no crazy beeping, anything like that. And then you just tap it and it turns off. Okay. But actually get up. So, another thing that you want to do is when you get into bed, and you guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not perfect at doing these things all the time. Now, yes, with the temperature, yes, with the Wi-Fi, and um, gosh, what was the other one I just mentioned with the socks and stuff like that? Those are things and no night lights. Those are things I always do. It took me a while at first, but and summer's harder. Okay, I'm not perfect. I don't expect you guys to, but if you can improve just a little bit, 1% I say every day in these manners and become consistent habits. Like, these things were never my habits before, and it took a while. Okay, you got kids, things are going to happen. Okay, fine. But make it a habit. Okay. Another thing to try is when you're laying in bed as you're starting to fall asleep, do some deep belly breathing, okay, or box breathing before bed. Again, another thing is on the Whoop, they monitor stress, and you can see if your stress is high at bedtime. They have a relaxation breathing exercise. You can start it at 2 minutes. It goes up to I think the most is like 5 minutes. So I mean, come on. And you follow a little circle. Okay, yes, I'm saying you're using your phone in bed, but then turn it off. Okay, you follow a little circle as it goes in and out, and you breathe in and you breathe out, and reduces your stress, and it's easy to do. And it's quick before bedtime. Okay. I know they seem basic and I know they're so hard. Okay. Another thing is if you've been through trauma, or if you're like a single mom, or you feel alone, you're traveling, things like that. I'm big on weighted blankets. They make you feel safe and secure, keep you warm, also can keep you cool too, depending on the one that you purchase. Um, Earplugs, don't get completely noise canceling ones, especially if you have kids, okay? Just a side note there. Don't do that, even though moms always know your instincts. But earplugs help if you're startled easily, okay? Helps you to sleep, your body to calm, and then sleep with a sound machine and or a fan. I have one every single night. I know the beach waves going off every single night. If I don't hear that, I'm like, what's wrong? Did the power go out? Did something I startle? Okay. So the goal isn't to get, everyone says, oh, you should have between 7 and 8 hours of sleep or 7 to 9 hours of sleep and whatever it is. Okay. There's no, and I know this is going to be total opposites of what people they're going to call me, they're going to text me, they're going to message me about this. The goal isn't to get X amount of hours of sleep. The goal is to be restful for your body Some people, like, okay, females, we need a longer sleep and more restful sleep during that time of month. We do. Okay. Don't try and power through. None of us are super moms. None of us are super women. We weren't designed that way. Okay. Get the rest that your body needs. You've gone through a stressful project at work. Guess what? You're going to need more rest. Okay. Acknowledge that. Respect yourself and give yourself the rest that your body needs. Okay. And the reason we want to do that, first of all, perform well. Okay. Our brain needs it. Our our digestive systems need that. Okay. You hear the rest and digest. We can't do that well during the day. There's a reason God said, you go to sleep at night. Okay. You have to because your systems need to recalibrate and then other systems are activated. Okay. Body is so complex and it's so amazing. Respect that. Completely respect it. Okay. Here's another thing, sleep. And all of you managers out there know this, HR professionals, health professionals, you know this. Sleep boosts employee engagement. Okay. There's a multi-billion-dollar industry devoted to boosting organizations' engagement levels, right? The degree of enthusiasm, satisfaction, productivity. Talk to any hospitality industry. Okay. Right. And it's not just for employees, it's for managers as well. Okay. And although a lot of the thing that frustrates me about that multi-billion-dollar industry about the organization engagement levels is you can talk to my husband. He's a big person into this and like, yeah, let's do the rah-rah, let's do the swag, let's do all that stuff. I'm not into that as much. Getting into it slowly, but they're big about improving office designs, right? All the ergonomics is great, all the cool tech, all the like nap rooms, things like that, workout areas, yoga areas, rest area, all those type of things. There's different types of food, coffee machines, things like that, fun Fridays, all that stuff. And that stuff's okay. It definitely is. Some people thrive on that, and that's great. Some companies do so well with it. Some companies fail because they try to implement that without other things. I digress on that. But there's no comparable awareness among these firms, okay, of the importance that sleep quality is, I don't want to say the main, but a key driver of employee engagement. Okay. Here's the thing. Unlike all those other drivers of engagement, sleep is in your control most of the time, right? You can decide instead of staying up and watching a show, you can go to bed early. Hey, I can put my clothes on and be ready in the morning to get up and go for a walk. Hey, I can choose to take a step away from my desk in the middle of the day and go outside and get sunlight. Hey, I can choose, right? All those different things you can choose. Okay. Um, and then always leadership plays a role. We talk about this a lot. We're going to continue talking about it too. Leadership, and that means leadership for yourself as well. Leading yourself, being an example. Okay. Shh. Leading, leading as an example. Okay. When you lead as an example, you've got, okay, let me see. Whereas incompetent leaders are always going to tend to stress and alienate their employees, boosting themselves instead. We've all been there, like not necessarily ourselves, maybe yourself, but we've all experienced that and ruining their quality of sleep, right? How many of you, right, had a bad boss and you're just like, you fret over it. You're like, I want to go to work on it, and you lose sleep over it, and you're trying to figure out all these things, right? Okay, that's got to stop. First of all, we can talk about that later, but it ruins people's quality of sleep. Where good leadership is going to mitigate some of those detrimental effects that poor sleep has. Right? They're going to encourage you. They're going to say, "You look a little tired. Please go home. Hey, have you been doing okay?" Right? All this type of stuff. But for this to occur, leaders don't just need to be competent in these areas. They have to make sure that they're not sleep deprived themselves. Right? Walk the walk. Don't just talk the talk. We all know that, right? Okay. Even decent leaders are more likely to engage in unethical and abusive behavior if they're sleep deprived. Okay. It's just, it's realistic. And we don't need more trauma in this world, do we? Okay. So, yes, the more and better, okay, sleep. That's what I call sleep quality, okay, is generally much better for your career And the quicker you start improving these sleep habits, the more you can expect to accomplish. Okay. So please stop bragging about needing tons of sleep, or you can sleep when you die, or I only need, whatever, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't make you a better person. No way, shape, or form does it. Okay. One of the most effective ways, best ways that you can ensure a productive day at the office and to show up for your family is to make sure that you yourself are doing your part. You can't control anyone else, right? And getting a good night's sleep. Okay. So, as I've said, over the next few weeks, we're going to be going through all these pillars of my program. We did diets, nutrition last week, and then this week was rest. Okay. Your sleep quality. Stay tuned for next week. Next week is a fun one. It's always a very opinionated one, which I enjoy because there are careers. This is the thing, okay? Our lives are affected by what we do and what we don't do. Our careers either are going to stay stuck, we continue that cycle of burnout, or we can actually thrive. And we have to be healthy for our own selves, physically, mentally, emotionally, in order to do what God has asked us to do on this earth. Okay. So we don't have any of these, all these pillars that I'm presenting here in order, we're going to struggle, whether we have a chronic condition, autoimmune disease, debilitating symptoms, or not. Okay. And working with myself, someone who understands your challenges, lives this myself, and has worked with hundreds of people like you, that's going to allow you to develop the competencies you need to thrive, to thrive, not just survive, like so many of you guys are doing. And it breaks my heart. Okay. We need people to use the skills that they've been given in their workplace to better our communities, home, and country. So if you need clarity on what you're going through, go ahead and head to the show notes, click on the links, schedule a discovery call, keep listening, ask questions on social media, things like that. Um, please, I don't want you guys to go through what I went through for all these years, 15 years plus now, and all the doctors and all the things. Okay. Until next time, let's keep uncovering the best you that this world so desperately needs.